So Bitcoin has already lost critical levels and you can see the bloodbath within the market. The question is, will it reclaim the range low and proceed to bounce a little bit higher before we continue down later? Ultimately, the end result, as they say, all roads lead to Damascus. All roads lead to 10 to 12K in my personal opinion. And we have a lot to look at. It's just about how we're going to navigate this as traders. So without further ado, let's get straight into the show. And I wanted to start off DB over here showing Coinbase hits record lows. So stocks are also getting absolutely annihilated. And it will be an interesting day when the stock market does open later on in a couple of hours' time. I'll be very interested to see the effect of that. I know the dollar's bouncing, 10-year yield is going up again. And typically that creates a risk-off environment for crypto. So look over here as well. There is things going on with the mining. And if you see what, how do you even say this? BITGET is the name of this account over here. He says, who has shut off Bitcoin mining? Last Bitcoin block found over 30 minutes ago. This is a 15 to 25% drop in total Bitcoin hash rate across the network. Someone large or several have just powered down. And usually there's this big debate of whether the hash rate or price is leading. So in other words, does price drop and then hash rate drops following that, or is it because the hash rate dropped that the price dropped? So it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Irrespective, regardless, it's usually creates a cascade effect of where other miners start to power down as well. And it says, Charles says, it's a Bitcoin miner bloodbath. Most aggressive miners selling in almost 7 years now, up to 400% in just 3 weeks. If price doesn't go up soon, then we are going to see a lot of Bitcoin miners out of business. And usually this is a way that the market cycle finally resets and comes to an end, is you get a minor capitulation, and we may be in the midst of that capitulation at the moment. And that, of course, because it's a chicken and egg scenario, also causes the Bitcoin price to finally capitulate, and then the mining difficulty usually changes, becomes profitable again for miners to start operating, hash rate goes up, price goes up, and everything resets in the market. So keep a close eye on that. Of course, GBTC is definitely one of the main talking points. Still waiting for clarity, but it's not looking good for the DCG group. It does seem like they are failing to raise the funds that are required. And as mentioned, there will be implications around that. Currently, a GBTC discount is at 45%. Someone said the egg came first or the chicken? Actually, it's the rooster. The rooster came first, but we'll save that joke for another day. Okay, I also wanted to mention over here Delphi Digital. Delphi Digital, they're showing here football fan tokens have created over the past 3 days as the FIFA World Cup in 2022 begins. As you know, these things typically are hyped right before the event. The event comes and then it becomes a sell the news thing. So if you are looking for coins to short, I definitely recommend take a look at these. So just take a mental note of these. Chile, Argentina, Portugal, Brazil, Spain, and Peru. They have their own little token indexes. And I would anticipate that if Bitcoin is going to nuke from here and absolutely sell off down to that 10 to 12K region over the next couple of days to weeks to even months, then this is free money as long as the funding rates on holding your short don't eat through your whole position. These are the ones that I would recommend to look at for potential shorts. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but just mentioning that. Okay, weekly chart over here. Let's take a look, zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, we had the weekly low, weekly high from the previous week. We've now taken that out to the downside. And if price doesn't reclaim that weekly low very, very soon, which is coming in at about 15,800, keep that number in mind. If it doesn't reclaim that very, very soon, then expect continuation to the downside. And as you know, there isn't that much support within this area. You're looking to go down as anywhere between about $14,000 and $10,000 on a major capitulation. The rest you all know, price stuck below all the important moving averages. Not sure if there's other new viewers here, but if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just go back on any of the videos from before. Okay, volatility is starting to pick up over here. I still want to see that get more aggressive as price comes down, so keeping an eye on that. The descending triangle still in play. Nothing's changed over here. Again, I would expect that it could potentially happen in this week, within this week, that you could have that capitulation. Yesterday we covered the potential for whether the S&P 500 is in a broadening channel to the downside, or if it's in a range. So is it in this pattern, or is it in this pattern over here? And I say to you that I still lean towards a most likely rejection within this zone. But if the S&P 500 is able to reclaim its 200-day moving average, then we can start to look at it as a potential range. And then I definitely wouldn't be holding any shorts above that, expecting that it could come as high as 4,300 on the S&P 500. But right now, the rejection is still in play. And it's kind of been consolidating for a number of days. I mean, that's since the 10th of November. So it's like about almost like a 2-week consolidation over here, waiting for it to refill some of this inefficiency candle at the very, very least. So that hasn't happened yet, but I am keeping a close eye on that. Okay, a couple of important tweets for the more macro environment. So Yurian over here, he says, there is downside risk for earnings in 2023. This year, earnings growth, excluding energy, is expected to be a mere 1%, which is well below the inflation rate. For 2023, the estimate is 2.9%. And then he goes on over here to say, it's too soon to see an early cycle recovery when we are still in a late cycle, perhaps near recession. We may need to see negative earnings growth followed by an improving rate of change before sounding the all clear. Based on the PMI, and you can focus on the PMI if you are looking to time a bottom. And he says, based on the PMI cycle, it might not happen until 2024, which means that this could really be one of the worst bear markets already. I think that this is possibly one of the longest. The 2019 one was exactly 1 year, and pretty much we had bottomed. And yet here we are 1 year later, and we're continuing to still go down, and looks like there is a little bit left. So definitely pay attention to these PMIs. Once these have properly reset, that will give you an indication of when a bottom may come into play. I'm not going to hop on the PMIs too much now. I'm not a macroeconomist, but I'll try and focus on it a little bit more in the future when it does become relevant. At the moment, it's not. But I think that the things are coming down. The Fed is doing the job that they've basically set out to do. And you can see over here that even Jeff Bezos says, keep cash on hand and don't buy TV or fridge this holiday season. So it looks like they are preparing for more pain. I know that also with Coinbase, they've been pretty much selling to try and raise capital despite their stock being at all-time lows. So it does look like the top guys are preparing for a much worse days ahead. Okay, looking at Bitcoin over here, inverted chart, still the same thing, higher highs and higher lows, inverted, meaning a new trend is being established. And that's one of the main things I wanted to focus on today, right? Because markets range and markets trend. So as you can see, let's say that this is kind of like a main range over here that price consolidated in for a long time. I'll make that big and change the color just to show you. So that kind of area, now we've officially broken outside of that range, and that means that we may be initiating a new trend. And since it's a downtrend, you would expect that that trend will gain momentum and continue until it meets the next major level of support, which is coming in this region over here. So therefore, I definitely don't recommend trying to catch the bottom at the moment. The best thing to do is probably just kind of wait now to see where we find support, and then get the next leg of consolidation, and then you can reevaluate from there. I kind of feel that a lot of people are still hoping for some sort of V-shaped recovery, which is absolutely insane. And unless they have inside info that the Fed is going to start printing money again and create quantitative easing. But you have to keep in mind, they've literally just started with quantitative tightening and reducing the Fed's balance sheet. And therefore, there's from a charting perspective, you should definitely not be expecting price to do this and V-shape out of there. When you have a quantitative tightening environment, you should expect a gradual slowdown, and eventually you find some sort of a base like that, and you're going to kind of consolidate there for a long time, and then a new uptrend will start to get established. And this is what your job is to do. If you want to be a successful trader or investor, you want to absolutely nail this zone over here. And there's no signs that we are anywhere near that. So I really recommend just remain patient, focus on learning more, focus on trading, playing the short side. Same way that in a bull market, right, we say buy the dip, okay? So there you buy the dip. Buy the dip. Same thing when you're dealing with a bear market, you want to be doing the opposite. So you want to be selling the rip. So bounce, sell the rip, down, bounce, sell the rip, down. It's exactly the same thing as what they say buying the dip. That's basically what you want to be focused on in this current environment. But we are nearing the end. I do think that Bitcoin will find support in that 10 to 12K region. And then at least the aggressive selling should hopefully slow down. And I mentioned for a long time, such a long time, I mentioned to you guys, that's the main zone that I'll be looking for serious buys before I even start to get interested. So I hope that has helped a lot of you out there. And I hope that it saved a lot of you money along the way, and that you were able to take that to heart and listen to that. Okay, so looking at this tweet over here, breaking total market cap lost in crypto hits $2.3 trillion. That's a lot of money. As selling continues, the collapse of FTX was the straw that broke the camel's back. The damage in investor confidence that SBF and FTX have created will cost trillions. And as you know, that creates a cascading effect, the contagion spread. So it will affect the confidence because of multiple different companies. FTX is the biggest case of fraud in history. And then I wanted to go and actually look at the total market caps over here. Just quickly move that across. I am on a 3-day chart. Essentially, we're losing that range that we were consolidating in, this area that had been holding for so long. Let me just quickly move that back. So this area that we had been consolidating in for so long, we are finally losing that section. It looks the same on total 2. We only recently just started to break through total 2's one, which means that the altcoins could still have a long way down. But the main one I want to focus on is total 3, because that excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the big caps. This is more focused on the low caps. And if you do take a look at this, it doesn't look good. This is only just started to break, and therefore you kind of want to mark out areas of interest. So let's just zoom in over here. Okay, let's just grab some tools. And the first area of interest that I'll be looking at is pretty much over there, which brings it to, let's round it up and call it a $200 billion market cap, which means there's still about another 100 billion that needs to be wiped out. And if you look from there, top to bottom, that's a potential 40% further downside for the majority of altcoins. Now, that's a big move, guys. That's just basically look at your favorite altcoin and divide it by 2. That's kind of what you're looking at as potential bottoms. Because a lot of people want to know, what are my price targets for like things like favorite altcoins, Chainlink and Cardano and this and that. Whatever the price is now, divided by 2, that's pretty much the price target at the very least should Bitcoin continue down. MACD is just crossing bearish over there as well. So I do expect there to be legs behind this downside momentum. Okay, using this chart over here, you guys know it very well, but I wanted to bring up the moon phases, which have worked phenomenally well just because they're almost relevant again. So the next one, which is the next bearish moon, prints literally, I think it's tomorrow. So you can expect another one of those with price stuck below all the different moving averages and EMAs. Pretty much not looking good for the bulls at least. Okay, this chart over here, this is the bear pennant, which is a very, very clean bear pennant. The measured move, as you know, goes down to about 12K. I mentioned to you yesterday, these things don't always work out, and you still need to open the possibility of what if this is a range. So if this was a range, let's put it in a different color over there. That is what the range would look like. But now you're officially already making a new swing low. I'm currently on the 4-hour chart. Swing lows mean continuation to the downside. And if bulls want any chance, and I still would give the possibility that this could happen, is pretty much you swipe the liquidity over here at the lows, you take out those stops, and then price quickly recovers, recaptures into the range. Again, remember that 15.8 that I mentioned from the weekly level, reclaiming 15,800 on the weekly. It's the same over here on the 4-hour chart. You reclaim that level, and then you can target towards mid-range on a long. This is now for short-term traders. Hold above the mid-range, and now you can target towards the range high. And then you want to close out all of your positions, because then it's pretty much just holding that range again and likely going to continue back to the bottom of the range. And then eventually, as you know, the way that price works, you kind of consolidate, and then eventually you break down the range. So every way, like I said, all roads lead to Damascus. It's all bearish, because if it doesn't happen to be a bear pennant, so bear pennant is obviously down, like I just showed you, and then you have the triangle comes into there and it falls through. If it's not a bear pennant and we went down and then we hold a range, then ask yourself, what pattern is that? That now becomes a bear flag, which all roads lead to Damascus, also breaks down to the same level. So there's very, very few ways that you can look at any of this as bullish. It's all bearish. Bear flag, bear pennant, they're all going down. It's just a matter of when. Okay, keep that in mind. Looking over here, 4-hour chart, moving averages, same thing, stuck below all the different EMAs, not much to mention over there. Low time frame, looking for a trigger to long. That's the only reason that I'm bringing up this chart. This is the way that I'll do it. If you were looking for the trigger to long, pretty much, again, range low looks like the main range, and then you break through into the range high, goes all the way up to 18.2. These are the same ranges that I gave on Friday. If you want the levels, okay, I'll click, you can screenshot it. There you go. It's written on the right-hand side over here. You can look where my cursor is. Range high, mid-range, range low. It's all there. Okay, now you have it. So zoom in. Simple trend line from top to bottom. Basically, what I'll be looking for, I'd rather enter conservatively. Conservative entry would be a reclaim of the range and a break of the trend line. So you want to hold this level over here, higher low, price comes up, breaks through there, takes out this zone over here. Now you're interested, comes back down, retest the range low at 18,850. Now you have your entry, stop loss underneath there, and then play that up to the mid-range. I don't know. I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments. Does that make sense? Does that help you? That's kind of the way that you're looking at it. Invalidation is below these lows. That's where the new stops go. And you only confirm that entry on a break of this trend line and then retest into the range low, which is at 15,800. That's kind of the way that I'm playing it. Otherwise, what about the other end of the stick over here, the bearish side? Bearish side would be this. So you're on the 1-hour chart. You can go onto low time frame if you want. Kind of see price failing to get above here. Maybe peak slightly, come back below, and you're spending time under here, flipping this previous support into resistance. That now opens the door to go short. Stops go above the previous lower high, and then you're looking to short all the way down to, yeah, pretty much next support. You figure out where the next support is. I think I've given enough hints over there. Okay, guys, I think that brings us to the end. Relatively quick show. Very quickly, this is open for the trading competition. It is open now. If you do want to join into my team, there is a link that's in the description below of YouTube. Go to that link below. I should probably open that up. I don't even have it. Okay, let's just quickly go here. I need to show you guys that. If you go to that link, okay, it's not in there. James is adding it right now, so just give it a second. If you're watching live, come back in about 10 minutes time. There'll be it says join my trading team. You can click that link there, because I got so many DMs of people that weren't able to get in on the BITGET one because the team filled up. So this one is open for you guys. Make sure you join there. There's up to $2 million worth of prizes which can be won, and you only need $100. Okay, James says it's already up. So go through to that. And then also the NFT, you can mint a free NFT. There is a link that's in the description below for that as well. And then I see the NFTs work with as like a competition as well. If you pick the right one, bear in mind you can mint all of these. For the first 50 people, you can get it for free though. Let's quickly go to that link. The internet is incredibly slow. Okay. I'm not going to go there. It's too slow. You guys know where it is. Give the video a like as well. I do appreciate it. It really helps me if you give the video a like. Hit the bell notification if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel. And that's it from me. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe out there. Stay patient out there, because you will be much richer for it in the future. And we are near the end. I think we're near the end. We're closer than what we were before. And that's it from me, guys. See you all tomorrow. Cheers for now.